Ladies, today we're going to be talking about why you need to stop doing nice things for a man or for your man. When you're dating a man, stop doing nice things for him. I'm going to be hammering out some really some information that goes very much against what so much of what you're told today. There's so much information out there that women get today that really screws them up, that just confuses the hell out of you. Because most people who are giving advice, well, they don't know what they're talking about. Number one, typically they're not in relationships, or if they are in relationships, it's almost certainly, well, if we're talking about advice given by women, we're talking about women who are typically in relationships with really emasculated men. And having a healthy relationship with a masculine man is very different than a relationship with a really emasculated man. And of course, then there's lots of men out there who are also giving advice, and guess what? They're emasculated too. And so they don't understand how they are actually if they're in a relationship, in a depolarized relationship, and giving advice to women that is causing their relationship or future relationship to also be depolarized. And one of the really big pieces of information out there that women get is that they should be proactively doing things for a man. Okay. And this isn't true. And this is not going to help you when you do this. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about, initiating, for one, doing nice things for him, buying things, cooking things for him, doing things without him telling you to do something. All right. That's what it all boils down to. Now, women get this advice, but this is actually the advice that women are getting around doing things for a man without him leading her to do it. It's actually all stemming from a much deeper problem, which typically stems from childhood, right? Where a woman or a little girl was not enough. She wasn't able to be enough to receive all the love that she needed, the protection, the provision, the whatever, from her parents, from her father, from her mother. And so she had to be more in some kind of way. What does that mean? That means that she was put into the masculine role where she's doing things proactively to be enough to get that love. And when a woman's in that pattern, when she grows up, well, she is going to be either pushing away men completely or pushing away really masculine men. And whatever man she ends up with typically is going to take her for granted, be kind of put more in that boy role, right? Because the more that a woman's doing for a man without him leading her to do it, the more that he's in that boy role, right? Because she's mothering. It's all just different forms of mothering. And that's not attractive to a man. And more than that, the more that she does that, the more that she's communicating to a man that she lacks self-worth, that she's not worthy. And the more that she does that, the more that he loses attraction for her, the more that he loses inspiration to serve her, take care of her and cherish her, make her feel special, consider her, be in the role where he's the one that's doing things for her. Now, understand that this doesn't mean that that a woman's not going to be doing anything for a man. Right? My wife does a lot for me, but it's through my leadership. It's when I tell her to do something, lovingly, of course. It's only when I tell her to do things. Otherwise, she's focused on herself. When a woman actually does things for a man without him leading her to do it, she's actually disrespecting him subtly as well. It's not just that she's disrespecting herself, she's disrespecting him because she's communicating that she doesn't trust him to tell her to do what he wants. Right? Because if she did fully trust him, she fully trusted that if he needed something or wanted something, he would just let her know, then she wouldn't have any need to actually do things for him. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into this video. There's so much to unpack around this. There's going to be many layers of resistance for women because women have been so conditioned to believe that being this kind of nurturing type of woman is feminine. No, it's not. It's masculine. Now, the feminine is nurturing, right? It does nurture a man's soul, a man's spirit, but in a different way than what we're talking about here, not in a mothering way. You can never truly nurture a man in a way that nurtures, sorry, you can never mother a man in a way that truly nurtures his soul, right? You're just going to keep him a little boy forever. Or maybe you're with a man that's, somewhat a man, but he's not in his true dominance, right? He's not fully inspired to serve you and take care of you in the way that deep down you really need and crave. That's only going to come from truly letting go. And of course, truly letting go in all the ways that we're talking about, it means you become you end up being face to face with all of your self-worth issues and all the fear and all the shame that comes up by not doing, by letting go of the doing. Oh my God, so enlightening. This answers most of my questions. Thank you for sharing this. Absolutely. Right, it's the great mystery, well, one of the great mysteries that I share with women that really help women understand why they're not getting the results with men that they want. And every woman deserves to have that man where she's being taken care of, she's being cherished. So look, before we wrap things up here, just got to figure out how to do this. Well, there we go. Hopefully that works. So I published a new book last night. It's my 5th book. If you're watching this and you haven't watched or you haven't read any of my books yet, you got to get going on this, because you're just causing yourself a lot of needless suffering just by not understanding some of these basic principles that we're talking about. The one that I want to talk about today, though, is the one, where are we here? The one that I published. So we're just going to scroll down. Inspire his devotion. Activate a man's masculine instinct to protect, provide, and cherish by learning to receive him. By learning to receive him. That's what we're talking about here. Because women are so focused on, being enough, doing enough, showing him that she's enough in some kind of way. And she's actually sabotaging the relationship unknowingly. She's ruining the relationship. She's demotivating the man from being the kind of man that he could be. And women often start doing this very early on, right? Even during the dating phase. She's doing the opposite of what she needs to do. If you want to inspire a man to take care of you, then you need to let all of that go, and you need to learn how to receive a man instead. Because that's, and this is so counterintuitive for so many women, this idea that you don't need to be doing all this stuff. That's not what a man needs from you. What he needs is to feel received as a man. He needs to feel that his gifts, his provision, his protection, his advice, his everything is being received. That's what inspires him to give more. You giving to him, that doesn't inspire a damn thing. It doesn't inspire a damn thing. It doesn't help the relationship. It creates a dynamic where he is your little boy. And you don't want that. I really don't think you want that, do you? You're not going to feel good. You're going to feel worn out. You're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to feel resentful. You're going to feel sad. You're going to feel anger. Those would be very natural feelings when you create that kind of dynamic and you're doing all this stuff and he's just doing less and less. He's not inspiring. You're like, why can't I find a damn man who just wants to take care of me, who wants to cherish me? Wow. You might be attracting those kind of men, but you're demotivating them from being that kind of man for you. And that changes when you learn how to shift your patterns, both behavior patterns and communication patterns, so that he's inspired to step up and take care of you, so that you can just open and receive from him. How awesome is that? So this would be a great book to start with. If you haven't read any of my books yet, this is a great one to start with. And especially if this topic really resonates for you. Or go through my other books. If you haven't read any of my books, then pick the one that resonates for you the most. If you've read a whole bunch of my books already, you've read 2 or 3 or 4 of them, then pick up this one, because this is going to add a whole bunch of puzzle pieces for you about what polarity looks like, what your role is in a relationship, in a dynamic with a man, and how you can create that by shifting how you show up so that you can have the relationship of your dreams. All right, that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure that you subscribe if you're watching this from YouTube. Otherwise, get those books, start reading, start changing your life.